Have you ever felt like your body was betraying you? Like it was sending distress signals you couldn't decipher, warnings you were too busy to heed? I did. It wasn't a sudden collapse, not a dramatic event. It was a slow unraveling, a quiet rebellion brewing within me for years. A rebellion born from a life lived on the edge of everything: ambition, family, responsibility, and ultimately exhaustion. It began subtly. A tightness in my throat, a persistent pressure that felt like a hand squeezing, restricting. I'm an entrepreneur. Building something from nothing, chasing a vision. It's exhilarating, but it demands everything. And then life happened. Divorce, remarriage, blending families, 5 incredible, demanding children. A beautiful chaos, absolutely, but chaos nonetheless. I was running on fumes, fueled by coffee and sheer willpower, convinced that sleep was a luxury I couldn't afford. Looking back, it's so clear. I was creating disorder within myself, a biological storm brewing beneath the surface. The first sign was my voice. It would just vanish. Especially during November and December, the peak season for my business, when every hour mattered. Imagine trying to lead a team, close deals, inspire confidence when you can. Barely whisper. It was terrifying. The doctors prescribed antibiotics, of course. A quick fix for a symptom, not a solution for the root cause. And the cycle continued. Each bout of illness, each round of medication seemed to weaken me further. Then came the endometriosis, the hyperthyroidism. Conditions diagnosed, labeled, medicated. It felt like assembling a puzzle of ailments, but nobody was looking at the bigger picture. I started doing my own research, poring over medical journals and alternative health websites. A nagging feeling told me something wasn't right, that these conditions weren't isolated incidents. They were connected. But the medical system, with its focus on specialization, seemed unable or unwilling to see the forest for the trees. And the medications, they brought their own set of problems. Weight gain, lethargy, a crushing sense of disconnection. I'd experienced periods of fatigue before, moments of burnout. But this was different. This was a bone-deep weariness that no amount of rest could alleviate. I'd be at my desk working, and suddenly, a wave of exhaustion would wash over me, forcing me to lie down, unable to even think, let alone work. The very motivation that had driven me for so long had simply evaporated. I stopped taking the medications. A risky move, I know. But I felt like they were doing more harm than good, masking the symptoms while exacerbating the underlying problem. I began searching for alternatives, for a path back to wellness that didn't involve a lifetime of pills. Then COVID hit. It wasn't a severe case, thankfully. Mostly stomach issues. But the aftermath, that was devastating. My esophagus refused to close properly. Food would go down and then, without warning, come right back up. It was relentless, unpredictable. I could be in a meeting, giving a presentation, and suddenly the nausea would hit. Hours of vomiting, emergency room visits. It became a monthly, sometimes even bi-monthly, ordeal. 4 times I found myself in urgent care, hooked up to IVs, desperately trying to rehydrate and regain some semblance of control. Between those terrifying episodes, I'd try to manage to push through. But the stress of it all took its toll. I developed a hernia, another physical manifestation of the pressure I was under. I was falling apart piece by piece, and I felt utterly helpless. It was during this dark period, while scrolling through Gaia, that I stumbled upon the work of Joe Dispenza. I'd seen his name before, but for some reason, his book, Becoming Supernatural, resonated with me. Maybe it was the title, the promise of unlocking hidden potential. Maybe it was the desperation that drove me to explore any possibility, no matter how unconventional. The book spoke of the mind-body connection, of the power of meditation to heal and transform. It wasn't a quick fix, it wasn't a magical cure. It was a process, a discipline, a commitment to rewiring my brain, to changing my internal state. I started meditating 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Weekends were reserved for family, for trying to create moments of normalcy amidst the chaos. At first, it was excruciating. I couldn't sit still. My mind raced, flitting from one thought to another, a whirlwind of anxieties and regrets. I felt restless, agitated, completely out of my element. But I remembered Dispenza's words. It's normal to get distracted. It's normal for your mind to wander. The key is to gently, persistently, bring your awareness back to the meditation, to anchor yourself in the present moment. I told myself progress, not perfection. That became my mantra. Every time my mind drifted, every time a thought pulled me away, I would acknowledge it and then gently redirect my focus back to my breath, back to the stillness within. Slowly, gradually, things started to shift. It wasn't dramatic, not an overnight transformation. But I began to notice subtle changes. A decrease in my stress levels, even during the most challenging moments. Driving to work, I realized my heart wasn't pounding the way it used to. My breathing was slower, deeper, more controlled. I felt calmer. It was a strange sensation, almost unsettling. I was so used to operating in a state of constant anxiety that this newfound tranquility felt foreign. It was as if my body was remembering a state of equilibrium it had long forgotten. The episodes of vomiting began to lessen in frequency. And when they did occur, they were less severe, less debilitating. The tightness in my throat eased. The fatigue started to lift. I began to feel integrated. Like the scattered pieces of myself were finally coming back together. I continued the meditation, consistently, diligently. 2 years have now passed. A year ago, I went back for another checkup, bracing myself for bad news. But the results were astonishing. Everything was normal. My endometriosis was in remission. My thyroid levels were stable. My hormones were balanced. And my esophagus perfectly healthy. 2 years. 2 years of consistent practice, of unwavering commitment to my own well-being. 2 years of reclaiming my body, my mind, my life. But it's not just about the physical healing. That's significant, of course. But the deeper transformation has been internal. I've learned to listen to my body, to recognize its signals, to respond with compassion rather than judgment. I've learned to cultivate a sense of inner peace, a resilience that allows me to navigate the challenges of life with greater ease. I'm still an entrepreneur. I still work long hours. I still have a busy family life. But something has fundamentally changed. I no longer feel like I'm running on empty. I'm fueled by a different kind of energy, a sustainable energy that comes from within. What if I told you that your body isn't just a physical vessel, but a powerful instrument capable of self-healing? What if you have within you the ability to rewrite your biology, to overcome limitations, to create a life of vibrant health and well-being? It's not about denying the reality of illness or ignoring the advice of medical professionals. It's about recognizing that you are not simply a victim of your circumstances. You are an active participant in your own healing journey. We are all capable of tapping into a deeper level of consciousness, of accessing the innate wisdom of the body. It requires courage, commitment, and a willingness to challenge your beliefs. But the rewards are immeasurable. Think about it. How often do you truly listen to your body? How often do you take the time to quiet your mind, to connect with your inner self? In a world that constantly demands our attention, it's easy to get lost in the noise, to disconnect from the wisdom within. The truth is, your body is always communicating with you. It's sending you signals, telling you what it needs. Are you listening? Are you paying attention? My journey wasn't about finding a cure for my illnesses. It was about becoming aware of the underlying causes, of addressing the root of the problem. It was about learning to create a state of coherence within myself, a harmony between my mind, body, and spirit. And that, I believe, is the key to lasting health and well-being. It's not about fighting against your body, but about working with it. Not about suppressing your emotions, but about processing them in a healthy way. Not about seeking external validation, but about cultivating a deep sense of self-worth. The power to heal is within you. The potential for transformation is limitless. It's time to unlock it. It's time to become supernatural. It's time to remember who you truly are. A being of infinite possibility, capable of creating a life filled with purpose, joy, and unwavering health. Don't wait for a crisis to wake you up. Start today. Listen to your body. Quiet your mind. And begin the journey home.